Hello guys, and welcome back to Club Dead, and welcome to Season 4 of Club Dead. And for our first episode of Season 4, I'm doing another Club Pack. And today, I'm covering the Meanwhile franchise, which were made by Tomska, who I've previously covered some of his videos before on Club Dead. The Meanwhile franchise is about alternate universes. The franchise currently has 5 videos in the series, but I'm only going to be covering 4 of them, and will be excluding Not Meanwhile 4. And for my opinion of the Meanwhile series, it's very funny, and every Meanwhile is pretty creative. So without further ado, if there are many alternate universes, would it bring alternate kills? Let's find out and get to the kills.
Tom, do you ever wonder if there are parallel universes?
No.
Meanwhile, in the parallel universe where cloning is legal.
Want to practice kissing? Yep.
Meanwhile, in the parallel universe where people occasionally mistake their hand for a bear.
Oh, it's a bear! It's a bear!
Meanwhile, in the parallel universe where books are hot. Meanwhile, in the parallel universe where women are always on fire.
Calm down, calm down, calm down. Yep, she's dead.
Meanwhile, in the parallel universe where watches don't exist.
Hey, what's the time?
Time you gotta watch.
The hell's a watch?
I don't know!
Meanwhile, in the parallel universe where everything is dubbed in Polish.
Bananowy zad jest najlepszym kucykiem, okej? Kłamiesz. Mam strusie stopy.
Meanwhile, in the parallel universe where thinking about breasts makes your head heavy. Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where thinking about breasts makes your head float.
Help! I'm stuck on this here.
Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where dinosaurs are still alive, but are also invisible.
Is there a dinosaur in here?
I don't know, but that's entirely possible.
Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where sitting is gross.
I'm so sorry! I'm so...
Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where kitchen appliances create wormholes.
Look, I got a new blender!
Meanwhile, in our universe.
Told you there were parallel universes.
Want to practice kissing? Yeah!
Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where everything is narrated.
Tom was thinking about Kim's breasts.
What? No, I wasn't.
Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where nobody is called Steve.
Do you know anyone called Steve?
No.
Me neither.
That is weird.
Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where sofas are log flume rides. Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where farts are compliments.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where farts are insults.
Say that to my face!
Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where the cameraman is stupid.
Karen.
It's broken.
Karen.
It's broken.
Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where babies are explosive.
I think I'm pregnant.
Get down! Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where homework is drugs.
Mom, I'm not doing any homework. I don't do homework anymore, you know this.
Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where the letter M doesn't exist.
What are you doing?
Playing video games.
Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where books are hot. Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where sandwiches make your clothes disappear.
Kim, you want a sandwich?
No thanks.
Meanwhile, in a parallel universe populated by hyper-intelligent horse people.
Mrs. Johnson, for your crimes against Equestron, you ought to be banished to a parallel universe where you will live out the rest of your days in exile.
Well, I can explain.
Meanwhile, in our universe.
Tom, do you reckon there are parallel...
I love it.
Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where dogs can talk.
Hey! I'm peeing on your stuff! Hey! Hey!
Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where bones don't exist. Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where life is reality TV.
So every Tuesday we like to play pranks on each other. So today I've swapped Tom's cereal for hard drugs.
Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where no one has heard of bugs.
That is a small bird.
Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where burps are dubstep.
Dude, that was gross.
Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where everything is animated.
So,
Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where video games are drugs.
I can quit anytime I want, just let me finish this level. No!
Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where there is no light.
Did you see that?
Nope.
Yeah, me neither.
Meanwhile, in a parallel universe filmed in front of a live studio audience.
Tom, where's my banana?
But only one person showed up. And he brought all his turkeys. Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where every word is offensive, except swear words.
Shit ass.
Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where hams are feet.
Wait, maybe if I just... How do... How?
Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where they know.
Oh my god.
What is it?
I've been researching the possibility of parallel universes.
What?
They're real. I've been monitoring quantum fluctuations, and this room appears to be the center of a massive spike in multiversal activity.
But what does that even mean?
It means someone is traveling between parallel universes.
Who?
Him.
Meanwhile, in our universe.
Tom, do you think there are parallel universes?
Not anymore.
What about alternate dimensions?
Wait, what?
Meanwhile, in an alternate dimension...
Tom, do you reckon there are parallel universes?
Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where not dancing is illegal.
Put your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care!
Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where Chris is bad at hide and seek.
Can you see me?
Yes.
No, you can't. That's impossible. You can't.
Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where Hattons hate each other.
Will you stop fighting?
Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where everyone is suspicious.
Tom?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where there are slightly more ducks than you'd expect.
Tom, guess how many ducks I saw today?
I don't know, 2?
3.
Wow, that is slightly more than I expected.
Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where an invisible racist just whispered something in Chris's ear.
Oh, you can't say that.
Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where Tom is sexy.
Tom, did you just write this joke to boost your self-esteem?
Yeah.
That's very sexy of you.
Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where guitars tell your secrets.
I'm the one who shit on your bed.
What?
Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where just for half a second Tom turned into a squid.
Tom, did you just turn...
Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where your friend might be a dog.
Tom, what have you got in your mouth?
Nothing.
What is it?
Nothing.
Drop it!
Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where pigeon.
Oh, Brad!
Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where cakes are babies.
What have I done?
Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where spaghetti is pronounced my ass.
Hey, Chris, what's for dinner?
The last thing you need, Tom, is more food, you fat piece of sh...
Meanwhile, in a parallel universe populated by hyper-intelligent horse people.
Oh, did you do it? Did you find the pigeon universe? Oh, very good. Take the bomb. We will remember you as a hero. But whatever you do, don't go to the wrong universe.
Meanwhile, in our universe.
Is that a hyper-intelligent horse person?
So that's the end of those videos. So how many kills do we get if things were different? Let's find out and get to the...
Meanwhile, in a parallel universe where Justin JT is a stick man.
Oh, come on. Let's just get to the numbers. 7 people died in the Meanwhile series. The victims were 3 male victims, 3 female victims, and 1 hyper-intelligent horse person, giving us this alternate pie chart, with a little bit of horse in the mix. With a combined runtime of 8 minutes, we get a kill every 1.1 for minutes. We've seen this number 3 times before on Club Dead, those being Roblox Zombie Apocalypse, Juice That Makes Your Head Explode, which was made by the same creator, and Corridor Cruise the Glitch, Obsidian chainsaw obviously goes to Kim, cause it was surprisingly very bloody, for a series of videos about parallel universes. And to be honest, I love it. Even the horse agrees.
I love it!
Also, fun fact, that horse that killed Kim first appeared in another Tomska video called Horse, which was made a year after Meanwhile 2. So I have a theory, that being that Horse is the prequel to Meanwhile 2, while Meanwhile 2 is a sequel to Meanwhile 4D. Dirt Knife will go to the lady that was burned to death, cause it was completely off screen, and all we heard was some screaming. And we also have another award, and the Best Meanwhile award for Best Meanwhile will go to Meanwhile in a Parallel Universe where life is reality TV, cause of how creative the idea is, and how it's filmed like it's an actual reality TV show. Worked really well, in my opinion. And that's it. The Meanwhile series was released from 2012 till its final Meanwhile, which was released in 2019. I'm sorry if this video has been long, but next up I'm covering a Roblox animation again. But until then, I'm Justin JT, and be fun people.
On the next Killcount.